What are the Vikings doing at quarterback?
You know, there's never been a time, Dan, in the history of the league where you've had a team that has 3 free agent quarterbacks and any other option that they want to pursue at quarterback. And at some point, you got to pick one. And that's a good thing if you pick the right one. But, boy, what if you pick somebody that's never played for you before, you don't know anything about him? It becomes a Brock Osweiler in Houston situation. Meanwhile, the 3 guys you let walk away end up thriving elsewhere. I mean, this could blow up on the Vikings or it could work out perfectly. There's some steam that they're going to make a play for Kirk Cousins, which does have risk. I'd at least want to meet with the guy. I'd want to have a meal with him. I want to talk to him before I commit to making him the highest paid player in NFL history. The way that these contracts play out, though, people want to know who's committed so they can move on to the next option. Will Kirk Cousins slam the brakes on this process and say, I'm not signing right out of the gates. I'm not signing sight unseen. I want to meet with the Vikings. I want to meet with the Broncos. I want to meet with the Jets. I want to meet with whoever, almost like what Peyton Manning did 6 years ago. That's what he needs to do, because the worst thing the Cousins or the Vikings can do is sign this contract and then realize 2 months from now, my God, we hate each other. So the Vikings have a real challenge here to get this one right. They got a lot of options, and they could lay the foundation for long-term success, or they could screw everything up by picking the wrong guy.
What'd you make of the Blake Bortles extension?
Well, you know, at first I thought, oh my God, they're paying him $18 million a year. But Dan, I pulled up the list of the annual rate for all the starting quarterbacks. $18 million has you like. No, it's not bad at all. Yeah. He's like 19th. If we assume that Cousins and Case Keenum and A.J. McCarron are all going to get more than $18 million a year. And I don't know about Keenum and McCarron. I think the Bortles contract kind of had a collective effect of making everyone take a step back and say, maybe the money's not going to be as crazy as we think it is. But even then, Bortles is in the bottom half of the league. And one of the reasons he's in front of 10 or 11 guys is because they're working under the terms of a rookie contract that they can't renegotiate yet. So this is a very affordable deal. It gives the Jaguars flexibility. It gives them someone they know. That avoids that Brock Osweiler risk, that you're going to sign someone in free agency and dump Blake Bortles, and then the new guy comes in, and it's like, we hate this guy. What are we doing? So they're with a guy they like. It's a sign to all the young players in the organization. If you do everything you're expected to do, you're going to have a financial reward here. You're not going to have to go get it somewhere else. And from Bortles' perspective, Dan, if the Jaguars aren't paying him $18 million a year, if they cut him, who's going to pay him $18 million a year? I mean, it's a perfect win-win situation for both sides.
How did the Browns screw this up, the draft?
Well, if I'm the Browns, what do? Do I make an all-in play for a veteran free agent, or do I roll the dice yet again on a rookie quarterback? Because the problem is, you may pick the wrong guy, and then you may leave on the board the guy who becomes the franchise quarterback. We've seen them do it each of the last 2 years with Carson Wentz and Deshaun Watson. Do they pick the wrong guy at 1? Do they pick the wrong guy at 4? I've had people joke around, hey, they should draft a quarterback with both spots. Then they'll be sure to get one who can play. But I've seen reports that they're not enamored with anyone in this quarterback class in the draft. Are they quietly trying to get a free agent? How do you convince someone to go to Cleveland without grossly overpaying? This is a real challenge for the Browns. They have to get this quarterback situation right. They know it, and it's the first order of business for the new GM, John Dorsey. Get the right quarterback in there who's not going to be just a part-time, short-term guy, but a guy who becomes the foundation of the franchise for years to come.
For more Dan Patrick Show, tune to Audience Channel 239 on DirecTV or download the Dan Patrick Show app.